in the dark. It's not a good day to be a bad guy.
What's up, metalheads? This is Wayne.
And Michelle.
And we are from the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. And you are listening to
Burton and Aaron on the Lost in the Dark podcast.
Raise your horns.
Welcome back, Crip Crow! Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Lost in the Dark podcast. Welcome back. We are joined tonight by our good friends all the way from the from Bog Wraith and the Bog Talk Podcast. Our brothers Alex and Mike from the Bog Talk Podcast. They joined Aaron and I tonight for a discussion on on a fucking ridiculous ass movie called Jack O. Anybody that's been following us for a while knows that like when we did the Multiverse Murder Fest, Jack O was a sleeper. So we decided to actually all sit down and watch the movie, not together, but then we came together and discussed the ridiculous mess that film is. So this is a fun one. But before we get into it, I have some shout outs, as always, that I do at the top of these episodes. First up, we have our brothers from Wisconsin. As always, the Dipping Milk in Cookies podcast. Join Garrett the Cookie Commander Smith and Mike the Master Milker Sarkovia as those two best friends try to figure out this thing we call life using friends, guests, and microphones. And it is absolutely, I mean, I can't say it enough. It's absolutely one of my favorite podcasts of all time. These guys are amazing. I finally got to meet Garrett recently on Halloween night at the Halloween night show, and it was just an absolute fucking trip for me. It was the first time I ever met a fellow podcaster that I'm a genuine fan of, that I'd never met before, and that was like an absolute honor and a pleasure. And we will, one of these days, once we get our on both sides, once we get our shit figured out, we're gonna fucking we're gonna come together and do a crossover cast, so a cross cast or whatever you want to call it. So I really look forward to that, and I really look forward to talking to both of them. I can't wait to get into some fucking paranormal shit with Mike. They have amazing segments. They do like a question of the week or questions of the week every week where they post it on their Facebook page. And if you answer, they will read your reply on the show. So it's an amazing like fan interaction kind of thing. I cannot recommend them enough. Everybody be sure to check out all things Dipping Milk in Cookies podcast. Next up, hold on, I gotta bring it up. We got our family, our own Michigan family right here, the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast, coming to you from the glacial dumping ground known as the Michigan Basin. Wayne and Michelle are a Michigan-based husband and wife educator and podcasting duo that examine UFOs and other paranormal topics within Michigan and beyond. Topics include UFOs, the paranormal, conspiracy theories, ghosts, alternative history, the Michigan Dogman, Bigfoot, cryptids, and all things strange and paranormal, again, within Michigan and beyond. And Wayne and Michelle are two of my favorite people that I've ever met through doing this podcast in general. It's always an absolute pleasure every chance I get to talk to them. We recently did a crossover episode. Aaron and I have been on their show. I've been on their show. I'm sorry, Aaron and I have been on their show. They've been on our show. And like, honestly, like we are in regular contact. They like, if you're looking for a great paranormal podcast, I think they're still in their first like 20 or so episodes. So if you want to get in on the ground floor of a brand new, amazing paranormal podcast, it's absolutely one of my favorite paranormal podcasts going right now. It has been a genuine pleasure to be a part of their journey into the paranormal realm. And you know, Wayne is a scientist. You know, Wayne is a science teacher. They're both educators. And he comes at a lot of this stuff. He's also former military, so he comes at a lot of this stuff the same way that I do. where I am a want-to-believing skeptic. Like, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And so they really unpack things, go deep down rabbit holes. The last episode we did was a grab bag episode, so it was full of rabbit holes. It was amazing. I cannot recommend their show enough. I absolutely love them. They did the intro for us. You hear them at the top of every episode of ours, and they mean the world to me. So everybody be sure to check out all things Michigan, UFO Sightings, and Paranormal Encounters Podcast. Fucking love them. Moving on to the band shout-outs real quick. We got, I do want to give a huge shout-out. This is one I don't give a shout-out enough to. My fucking brother, all right? My fucking brother, Aaron, down there from Victims of the System! Are you serious? Like, one of the first people to ever hit me up to want to be on the show, and hands down, like our most frequent guest. He always supports the show, and we support them as much as we can. We've had him on the show many times, and I can't, like, he's a great guy. He's a great guy, and I cannot wait to meet him in person one day and see him perform live, because he is an excellent guitarist. One of his biggest influences is Dimebag, and I cannot, like, he's one of mine too, so like we relate on a lot of things, and I fucking like love the music that he puts out, and they got a new one coming real soon, so be sure to look out for that and check out Victims of the System. I think they might be on Facebook now, but generally speaking, they're just an Instagram is their only social media presence, but also they're on motherfucker Gore Noise. I think that they do a lot of stuff with Gore Noise, so check out that Instagram. They put out a lot of their stuff, so be sure to check out all things Victims of the System. Love it, buddy. Aaron, check them out. These guys fucking rule. All right, and the final shout out that I'm going to get into for this one is, I mean, I can't like speak highly of this band enough. This is a wild one. I'm shouting out right now, the motherfucking Convalescents. Come the fuck on. If you don't know who they are, you're living under a rock. Like, they are absolutely one of the best bands going right now. This is like literally like the only band from the start of doing this show that I was already a fan of. I've already seen them many times, owned their albums and everything, and then Keith, the lead vocalist, reached out, wanted to be on, and has been sending bands my way ever since. He's been on the show multiple times, and I cannot, like, everybody in that band just means the absolute fucking world to me. They are all amazing people, incredible musicians, and growing up, it was like every show I went to was either and opened by Hatebreed, Battlecross, or Black Dahlia Murder. And it was kind of a progression when I started to go into shows. I started noticing that these bands were always opening all the shows, and then as I got older, it became the Convalescents. They were the next ones up, and undeniable. They are absolutely undeniable. Their music is something I go back to on a regular basis. I know Aaron, who the co-host of this show, we were hanging out last night, and he told me how much he's been listening to This Is Hell and Monument of Misery lately. He's been obsessed. Like, two of the best fucking metal albums to have been released in the last 10 years. I swear to God, I cannot recommend them enough. Sorry. So everybody, be sure to check out all things The Convalescents. Come the fuck on. Love you, Keith. Love all of you. You guys fucking rule. But that's going to do it for the shout outs on this one. Let's get into it. This is an episode with, this is a cross cast with us and Bog Talk, and we're talking all things this ridiculous ass horror movie called Jacko. Full disclosure, you know, I'll let you in a little behind the scenes right here. I forgot about this episode. The audio for this episode already exists, has existed for a month now on their podcast. Everybody be sure to check out All Things Bog Talk Podcast. They are audio only. So whenever we do an episode together, they put out the audio, we put out the video. And I like literally found it on my desktop like a few nights ago, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot to post that. So like I honestly totally forgot about this. And it really is a fucking hysterical ride. So I apologize for forgetting about it, but I hope you all fucking enjoy this one. And it's always an absolute pleasure and an honor to talk to my brothers from Bog Wraith, Mike and Alex. You guys fucking rule. You guys fucking destroy. So everybody, I hope you enjoy this one as much as I enjoyed making it. Here you are, everybody. Welcome to the Lost in the Bog crossover episode with Mike and Alex from Bog Talk Podcast and Bog Wraith. Enjoy. Welcome back to Lost in the Bog.
Welcome.
What's up, everybody?
We got some shit to talk about tonight because it is
do.
Halloween time. And
Oh God, dude.
Mike went actually,
We all kind of
How-
put
we-
ourselves in this situation.
I'm gonna take the blame for this one because I went back and I listened, and I admitted to like being the one that went through and cut all the names for the Multiverse Murder Fest, right? And then we came across Jacko,
right?
and I didn't use Google because I'm not a shill, yo. But I used my search engine DuckDuckGo. I'll shill for that though. And that was what it brought up when I typed in Jacko and that movie, like it was like a YouTube trailer, not even like a IMDb page.
That's the one that we watched on air.
And that's the one we watched on air.
Mr. Jacko.
So,
Steal your eyes.
Your spine.
Now, but the only reason why he stuck out is because we came to a point in the Multiverse Murder Fest where none of us could remember where he came from.
Yeah. We were like, who the fuck?
It was a
is this
mystery.
anyway?
We were like, how is this possible? We hand selected all these characters. How do none of us know and then he made it so far. Like,
Mhm.
and then
Won the losers bracket, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And as it turned out, I had submitted him because it was under the band mascots because there's a
Yeah.
Halloween.
That's for Halloween. Yeah,
Yes.
that was it.
And so
Yeah.
we did figure out where he ended up coming from, but that led us down
used
this.
the slasher Jacko.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I ran with it, dude. Like we
Uh-huh.
listened back and we ran with that movie, and we
Oh, yeah.
finally have all watched it.
I got notes.
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
man, yeah. I stopped taking notes. I was
got
trying to go
notes, bro.
scene by scene, but then my last written note, hon, pull it up here. It just says, apparently there's no scene structure, and I stopped taking notes because like I just had to sit and like
There was scene structure, but there was like gaps
Barely,
in
dude.
like where the scenes were supposed. Because like normally like a scene has setup, and then like it has like a little bit of character building maybe, and then payoff, like pretty much like in that sequence.
little
But then
doses.
there would be like
Yeah.
it would be like setup. Oh, let's go set up something else also. But then we're gonna go back to that for a second, but not the entire second. But then we're gonna have the payoff happen before we did anything else to actually build up that whole suspense or anything. It was,
Dude, you're giving it way too much credit with having starting and stops. There's like all right. Fuck. First thing, and you know what? Well, let's just.
no,
we're
wait,
gonna
wait,
go-
let
Oh,
me
wait,
do
no,
my-
that's right.
I did a little bit of a writing intro, mainly because I wanted to just make fun of this fucking movie, but halfway through writing it, I just gave up. So I started with Jacko, or Jack-o'-lantern, or Mr. Jack, or Pumpkin Man. What the fuck
Pumpkin
ever
Man.
these people want to call this fucking thing, it sucks, and it's terrible. It's so blatantly, like, just barely thought out. Like, it's like one of those things where they were like, okay, concept. Pumpkinhead man comes and slaughters people, but like, why? Why does he want to slaughter people? Oh, the guy that summoned him was killed. Why would the guy that summoned him fucking make him kill people before they killed him? Like, what? What?
I don't know, because like in the old times, I feel like that term, the old times, I feel like got thrown around a whole lot until they were on set, and like one random person, and I hesitate to say something like a key grip because I really doubt this production had any sort of like actual jobs.
Oh, it did. Did you look at the like 2 minutes of?
I just imagine somebody at some point going, when did they kill the family before? Like, when did this happen? And the guy's like, well, they're on the ranch and he's just nailing 2 branches together to make a cross. And he's wearing like a hat, and the woman's wearing like an old timey dress.
Like, I think they
but like
to be the 1800s.
But then it took place in 1915, like World War I. Yeah, dude. When they find the graveyard, it says that the 2 guys died in 1915.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So,
and then later on, she's like, 81 years ago, this happened. I was like, 81 years ago?
What an odd number. Yeah. That was definitely part of the thing that was really surprising to me, was like the whole setup of it was like, whoa, look, this kid and his paw, like the kid goes up to him. It's like, what's up, paw? And he's just like, nothing, kid. And okay. Best line in the entire goddamn movie was when the mom in the old timey thing looks at her husband and goes, I don't need you to remind me. I watched 2 sisters die at his hand. And that's exactly how she delivers it too.
Yeah. Oh, the only thing more wooden
2 sisters die at his hand
than everything in that shack, the wooden shack they were standing in. She was the most wooden. Like, it was ridiculous. Her lines were delivered. I shouldn't even say the word delivered. She just said the words.
She didn't act them.
Yeah.
And then it's like they watched that scene when they filmed it and they went, we should tell our next actress to make sure she emotes more. So here comes mom.
Oh, the mom.
Mom railed a fatty line before she got out of the car. I was like, there's a strange woman. I'm talking to my son, and strange woman
anytime she acted, it would just be open my eyes as wide as possible.
Wide as possible.
It's so fucking cracked out, dude.
The kids are like, oh my god, dude, there's a witch. And it's like, oh, there's a witch in this movie? But no, it's like some real estate agent looking lady, like,
oh, Vivian, the Dr. Loomis of this movie.
Oh god, yeah.
Why is she here? She wanted to see the spook house, but why is she just hanging out and like just looking at us like she's pissed off? Like, what's going on?
And like fawning over our son to the point where I've got one where, first off, Sean got molested by that guy in the first scene, right? We can all agree on that.
That creepy
there was
old
nothing.
Man
there was nothing wholesome about that scene.
They shot that old man in that robe thing 8 years before this movie even came out. They repurposed that footage from something else.
With special appearance by that was Dave Carradine, right?
No, it was John Carradine.
John Carradine, that's right.
Yeah, and like it was literally 7 years after this man had died that they repurposed it for Jacko.
Oh my god!
Made him look like a child molester.
That's fucked up.
Dude,
his line was, "There's little use in trying to resist me." Yikes!
Dude, well, and then later the lady's talking to the dad, and she's like, "Oh, this Halloween stuff really, like, you really like it?" He's like, "Yeah, it makes me feel like a kid." And she just goes, "I like little boys."
Dude, she said
while
that
the son's
after
standing,
she had called Sean, her boyfriend. She was like, "Hey, what's up? There's my boyfriend."
Yeah. I was watching. I was like, am I watching a different kind of movie? Is this about to be a Lifetime original? Like,
that blonde babysitter is Scream. Well, not like Scream Queen, but like she's like one of these like horror legacy actresses, Linnea Quigley, and it is so funny because she is most famous for showing her boobs, and she does that in spades.
24 minutes in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and like they linger. They filmed her tits. They're
did.
like,
It was a little-
bro.
I was like-
yeah, let's get in there.
Yeah,
How
there's
long is
like
this
there's
scene going on for? Like,
there's
Yeah.
tit shots in a
then
horror
it-
movie.
And then it goes
Always.
out and you see
Now-
like her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend, and then like they're talking for a second, and then it goes back to her fucking just rubbing her tits.
Yeah. Now, real quick, one note to make on that point is that this film, Jacko, was released in 1995, and it was a straight to TV and video. It was not a theatrical release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
How'd
crazy.
they
yeah.
show that on
Tits in
TV?
it.
They didn't
Yeah.
show it
HBO
on
or,
TV.
yeah, it's HBO or Showtime if they like, because they also probably have like a TV edit where it's just like
Yeah.
Oh.
drop out the two teeth. Like
That's
there's, like,
that's one
three
thing I
tits,
noticed.
technically.
No bad words. They didn't have to edit any bad words out.
Yeah. They called somebody a poop head at one point.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
all wholesome language, and then tits. That's like,
Oh,
I was
like,
I was like, man, dude, all the tit shots were like so clearly. They were like, man, movie's really dragging around here.
yeah, and there's like boobies. But the
Put
funny
the
thing
boobs
is
in.
like, if anything, they were like, okay, so we got Linnea Quigley in this movie. You know, she's like kind of up there. She's really making a name for herself, and we only got her for 3 days. So we gotta shoot because she literally shot all of her scenes in 3 days.
Shoot the tit scenes first.
Yeah, they were like, have her take a shower, and then we'll film her running around in the woods, and then we'll fucking have the dude in the Jacko costume punch her in the face, and then she's like just knocked out for the rest of the movie until the end.
Dude, that part where she just like he just straight up like knocks her in the face. She's
Yeah, he's like, I'm not even gonna kill her. He's like, I don't even care anymore. Boom, I'm going for the little boy. That's the
Yeah.
fucking that's the mission. You gotta kill
Now-
the little boy.
Now, real quick, we should probably do this for because I'm sure
For
99%
context.
of people, haven't seen this. Let's real quick. I'm gonna read what according to Wikipedia that says the plot is, because that is something I wanted to bring up. I watched the movie, still don't know what it's about.
Oh, really? I got most of what they were talking about.
But
I got the treatment.
Here,
I mean,
Yeah.
say that synopsis, and then I'm gonna say what I
Yeah.
interpreted the plot of this movie to be, because I think we should all go around and say that.
according to Wikipedia, the plot is the Kelly family lives in the fictional town of Oakmore Crossing. Just before and during Halloween, the family, consisting of Father David, Mother Linda, and son Sean, live a normal suburban life, but are eventually visited by a stranger who identifies herself as Vivian Mackin. Both the Mackins and the Kellys have a long ancestral history in Oakmore Crossing, and Vivian reveals that one of the Kellys' ancestors hanged a supposed warlock named Walter Mackin, who raised up a pumpkin-headed demon, Jacko, from hell to take revenge on the Kellys. The Kellys' ancestor ended up burying the demon in a shallow grave, but through the antics of several teenagers, Jacko is raised again and seeks revenge on the Kellys.
That's the part that I didn't understand. Is like, did he raise up the demon before that the Kellys killed him, or did he somehow in his death raise this pumpkin thing after he was dead, and like it's seeking revenge now? Because
Okay,
realistically, it
I can
just
answer
does
that
not
question.
explain that shit. It's just kind of like he already had it, maybe.
Mhm.
Nope. It's she says it when they're watching Dr. Cadaver. And this is
I love the Dr.
straight
Cadaver
of faces
thing.
I
That
can
shit was
keep right now.
hilarious. I think that would have been a way better movie. Dr.
She
Cadaver.
says that with his dying breath, he said that he would get his revenge in 1 year's time.
And that's how he summoned Jacko.
And Jacko, so that's where the time is fun, because it's like she says it was 81 years ago. So 81 years ago he died and put the curse out. So then 80 years,
After
like
they
a year
buried him.
later, Jacko came to do his killing. And then they put him in the ground, and then 80 years after that is when this story takes place. So like, dude,
So
Also,
it's
did they
been way
leave
longer
his
than
scythe
80.
on top of his grave?
And why
Or
would
did they
they
bury
even?
it with him?
And was that cross?
no, it was
He
like
goes-
it
he
was like
literally pulled it right
it was
on top
like
of
it
the
was
grave.
just like tossed over in the woods somewhere. Like the one dude found it, and it was like, I don't know, 25 feet away.
so
For 80 years undisturbed in a field.
Yeah.
and that grave with the wooden cross that dude like pulls out, that was Jacko's grave.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why would you even mark it?
Because he
This-
wanted to
the
keep
cross
it
is
at
how it. The cross was how it kept it like under the ground.
Yeah, so the cross being upright was like the thing that was like keeping it within the grave. And that's why when it gets out of the grave, it bursts into flames and like a really lame effect that kind of goes in like a stream that like kind of like all of the little things have to catch first. And like you can see them all like hit the fuse like
Yeah.
and like that it lights on fire.
That they even use pyrotechnics
Yeah.
in this
Well,
movie.
if you can call
like,
it pyrotechnics, if anything, that was like just a line of like different like accelerators.
Technically-
like just like tied
technically,
around
it's
it.
pyrotechnics.
Technically, I suppose.
Of course, the guy was also in a straw costume. They were like, he was like, please don't use like a lot of fire.
They were like,
No
we
way.
I'm
put
making
our,
like
Okay.
$85 for this shoot.
they were like, we put our entire budget in that mask, bro. We're not gonna have anything happen to you.
Yeah.
I
That
want
mask
to.
looked good. It was really.
I was
cool.
gonna say the monster actually looked cool,
Yeah.
especially when he got the scythe. I was like, oh, like a Grim Reaper, you know.
I
Jack
I
Skellington.
liked
Use
it
it right
right
at
up
all.
until he pointed to get for the kid to get in the grave, right? And he
was
did that
so
big
funny.
like, "Whoo!" Like,
Yeah, and then the kid just lies down and goes, "No."
Oh,
no,
yeah.
and then he spends like
no."
what I can only assume is like an hour
They're just
scraping dirt
shoveling
with the
dirt
scythe. And they show how ineffective it is. Like multiple times, they show like a handful of dirt getting pushed in by the scythe. And Jack was like, ah, and the kid's like,
Oh my God.
please don't.
I loved that shit.
And then all of a sudden he's buried. Like
Yeah,
in the
he's
next
like
shot,
actually
he's-
buried, yeah.
Oh, he's like digging out of it.
That kid I found out is the director of this movie's son. He was in
Obviously.
like 3 other movies.
Gotta save some money, damn it.
Dude, the part
Billy, you're gonna be
I
in a
thought he was-
movie.
I thought
The
he was
part-
the kid from fucking Troll 2 for a minute, but it's not the same kid, sadly.
Yeah. the part that I loved, like because it was so bad because they used the same shot like 2 or 3 different times, was like the nightmare scene where the kid's like sleeping and he looks out the window, but like as soon as he wakes up, he does that thing where he like it like pans over and he just looks straight into the camera, and then it
Yeah.
does the other thing where it's like right out the window again all of a sudden.
Director's
like-
like, oh, multiple
Yeah.
dream layers. Don't just stay in your lane, director.
Yeah, I like the fact that they did a fake out where like one time he wakes up, then he's like still in a dream, but he woke up in the dream.
Yeah.
That shit was so stupid.
I've got one note here is that so he goes in from after school, right? And like gets into his fight, and then he walks in and disappears into like the portal in his closet to the farm or something, and he like goes walking through that, and the old rapey guy is like chasing him around or like taunting him while he's stranded in a magical hellscape. And then when he comes to, because surprise, it was a dream, it's the woman that the family just met as she walked their son through their lawn up to their house, not even on the sidewalk, like a barbarian. And she's just in his room as he wakes up from like collapsing, I guess. Like he just walked in like school's done,
Yeah.
ragged out on the floor, like had a seizure.
That was weird.
And then the mom comes, like she comes out, she's like, oh yeah, he was having a bad dream. It's like 4:30 in the afternoon. What do you mean he was having a bad? What did you do to my son? And the mom's just like, we can't give you money, but we can have you stay for dinner. What?
Oh yeah.
What?
Help
Who
out
is
with the
this bitch
Halloween
to
thing.
you? Like they literally just let her hang out for way too.
She's
fucking
like part of
long.
the family. And then like 30 minutes later, the mom goes, she makes me uncomfortable. Then why did you invite her to stay? Which
Yeah.
part made you uncomfortable? Is it the random appearance as your son gets into a fight and then collapses in his bedroom? Or I don't know, dude. I was trying to follow that storyline to like somebody's got to say something about this woman just like waltzing into this family's life on Halloween.
Yeah, then she
Yeah.
just hangs out at the fucking spook house while it's happening, and she's just like,
Oh,
you know, I
in
think
the
you should be watching
spook
out
house,
for something.
fuck's sake.
Yeah.
That was driving me nuts. That they didn't just say haunted house.
Yeah.
Not a copyright on haunted house.
No.
They got called something specific that's like that. It sounds even lamer than it actually is, because like a haunted house sounds like, hey, that could be pretty fun. Spook House is like, oh, your parents like threw up some like fucking
they
toilet paper
peeled
and fake webs and
Yeah, they peeled some grapes and put them in a bowl.
yeah.
Your
Oh,
family
that's spaghetti
sucks.
for intestines. And then those one kids that you're following for like half the movie, but they never get a fucking name show up, and they're like, I bet this is gonna fucking suck. And they see Jacko, they're like, oh fuck, no, we're not getting murdered, no.
Yeah,
And then Jacko's just not there anymore. Like he like walked in, and then he was like, oh wait, right, the kid doesn't live in the garage. I should go check out the kid's bedroom, right? And then he just walks into their house and somehow steps on a photo of this kid without I don't know.
Oh yeah,
dude,
Was just
no,
on the
I'm
ground
telling you,
for no
there is a cut subplot about the mom's drug problem.
And she was using that fucking photo to like fucking snort lines, and she just left it on the ground because she was like, oh god, I sneezed all over my stuff, damn it.
That is a leftover scene, yeah, from where like really he walks past the mom, and the part they cut is that she had been cutting up lines on that, and she was just passed out with a fucking straw up her nose. Or not passed out, just catatonic, like wide eyes staring at static on the TV as Jacko just like walks past with a scythe, and he's like, I don't have to do what the drugs are already doing, because we know Jacko is totally down for lazy kills where he doesn't really have to do anything.
Oh yeah, dude.
Best
if he could
kill
just
of the
put
movie.
that scythe like just right into somebody's gut, he's like, yeah, I did my job.
Well, I like
Not
how
even that, dude. I'm
he'll-
talking about toaster death.
he'll take
Yeah,
a
he didn't have
big
to kill him.
swing. I saw like multiple times he would take giant swings with a scythe, and it would just be a little cut.
Yeah, I'll just be like right
I'd be like,
here.
what? What was that?
They don't have
Yeah,
enough
paper
VFX
cut
budget
from a
for that
scythe.
shit.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hell, they
It
didn't
better-
even have enough VFX budget for the fucking beheading they did.
Better shit than that at fucking the Halloween store right now.
Greaser boyfriend's head turned into a fucking rubber goddamn Johnny Bravo head.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And what was with that guy? It's like they copy pasted a character from something out of like the 50s or 60s. Like, we need a bad boyfriend. What do? Wear leather jackets and drive motorcycles and rev them for too goddamn long in my driveway. Like,
Dude,
the guy
Right.
wasn't even like a dick. Like he wasn't like,
well, when he was sitting there revving his little MIDI engine,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but
and
like,
it was just
was
like
the
a
same
guy on a
noise
keyboard
every
doing the
time.
vroom.
he took the little kid a ride for around the block. I was like, what's wrong with that? Like he just
Yeah, they
took him-
freaked out about
Yeah.
it for no reason. It's like
Because
literally
he's a
went around
stranger.
cul-de-sac.
Who just took off with their kid on a motorcycle.
well that
He rode
you know,
down the
that's-
cul-de-sac first, dude. He's gonna have to double back.
And when he doubles back and he's going fucking 60, and he's just like, got your kid back.
Yeah, you risk your kid's fucking
Sean
health to
is
save that
in-
goddamn kid.
Sean is in constant danger, and I would posit to say that the least of all from Jacko.
Oh yeah,
That's
because
fair.
Jacko does a whole lot of that fucking I'm here. Oh, look at me. I'm stalking you. I am totally and then he disappears, goes all the way across town, and then is at another place like, oh, look at me. I'm here. I am stalking you. It's like, why did you kill those people that were watching fucking Rush Limbaugh talk about how giving out candy on Halloween is like some kind of weird leftist conspiracy? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
You know,
that part was kind of weird because I was like, oh God, is that timeless? Ew.
Yeah, no, I was like, what the fuck, dude? This sounds like what Republicans fucking talk about nowadays. And like, that was like a caricature of Republicans back then. Like,
20 years ago.
yeah, over 20 years ago.
Oh my
yeah, almost
Yeah.
30 years ago.
Did you notice when the bike took off for the first time that it was like the film was sped up? And they
Oh,
just kind
yeah.
of
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh yeah, because the director was like,
That's an actual
he's not wearing a
little boy.
helmet, and that's my
Yeah.
kid. So I'm
Yeah.
trying don't go too fast.
like
No,
So fucking funny.
so,
dude,
so
the kid was so weird. Go ahead.
I'm surprised that you could get any plot out of that at all in between all of like the jump cuts that didn't make sense and like how it was edited together in like a middle school like class project kind of way. Like they would like it would be like
Everything
snap
was a
cuts of
smash
like
cut. Yeah.
yeah something happening and then it would like go back and it would be something else but it would still be the same scene and like it would almost seem like it would skip half of like 5 minutes.
Yeah, they definitely did like not a very good job of like organizing what their shot lists were and like how to compromise like with this
Yeah,
kind
and
of
just
stuff.
like they'd occasionally just like cut back, like with the plot with the teenagers drinking the beer that knock over the cross,
Yeah.
started way too early
Yeah.
and was like
I
way
didn't
too
mind
spread out.
because like it actually made it feel like, oh, now we're actually setting up the monster and stuff. And I was like, I don't care who these people are, so it doesn't really
But-
matter who these kids are even. So
When I say it
Wow.
started too early, it was spread out too much. I mean, that should have been like its own little thing cut into like a couple scenes. Getting out of the car, drinking the beer, guy wants to fuck the girl kisses the guy, they go off, murder. Like that's your first kill kind of thing. It's not supposed to take that long.
But they were the ones that woke up Jacko. You gotta have like the setup of like, well, how did that happen? Why is he like they had the show
Again, I
the
really
desecration
think
of the grave and stuff.
we just see more plot because we want to. It's kind of like we might all be reacting to just how bad this movie was with a little bit of like shell shock.
No, because realistically, they had an idea, but they did not know how to execute on it. So like there is little semblances of plot, but like they just did not nail it, you know? Like they got like 3 inches away from the nail and they were like, hell yeah, that's in that piece of wood, and they walked away from
Got it.
Yeah. Like they
Yeah.
almost got it, but they were like, fuck it, one and done, let's go.
They hit it and the nail went.
They just bent and they're like,
all
yeah,
right.
dude. It's in the wood, right?
Yeah, that's all it has to be.
You can't deny it.
We
No,
got
man, it's for an hour and a half. There's not a lot
It
of.
felt like 4.
actual-
yeah.
Yeah, it's because there's no like. When I say it's bad, it's because the structure isn't cohesive enough to be able to. It doesn't flow at all. One, because everything's a smash cut between it, and it's like all of a sudden we're at this house and this lady's making toast or something, and the guy's yelling at kids, and he gets
Yeah,
toilet
like-
papered.
I loved that. Like they had like their own like Halloween Kills like family that they had to like fucking follow for way too long, and it just ends up with them getting killed. But the first one was like, oh, he actually got killed, and then she fucking finds his body, runs inside, and doesn't close the door, and then sits down towards the door with a knife and just starts screaming for a second. It's like, close your fucking door, you stupid!
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
doing? Like. Literally just screaming out into the abyss. Oh my god, somebody killed my husband out there. I'm leaving my door open. Like
I had that same reaction to it. I was like, what like really? Like you're not
Like there's questioning what characters do in a horror movie because it's supposed to be a horror movie, and then there's like, did y'all improv this scene?
I think they did, because like realistically the effects that they used to show that she died and like that fucking charred body and stuff looks like they bought that shit at like $20 maybe.
Oh, don't just glance over my favorite, Aaron and I's favorite kill.
Yeah.
When she goes to run, but her rug slips from underneath her, which is subtle metaphor for capitalism being everyone's downfall. And she falls, and her knife, her butter knife, literal knife from the butter that she was using for her toast, and just jams it into the toaster with like a vengeance.
And then
Like-
the blue little squiggle lines go around her all the time.
Dude, that death had the most production next to the actual character Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Well, the beheading was like not really. It was close. They tried.
oh, dude, like
They got
the
like a
smoke
rubber
going
head
and
that wasn't even the right skin
yeah.
tone as the guy and stuff. Like,
Yeah, this one they fried her. It was fucking hilarious, dude.
yeah.
But
Honestly-
the thing, it was just so bad though. I sat there going, huh. Like that was like as much of a laugh as I could muster during this movie because I was just
Dude.
watching like this is so dumb.
I laughed at all of the terrible line reads. Those were the best ones. Like, okay. There was one that was like that Rush Limbaugh character. God, what the fuck did he even say? It was something along the lines of like people asking for handouts, and that's ridiculous, and like that's what the hell was it like leaning towards? It was something
want a
so
handout?
overtly-
You want anything from me? You pay for it. I sell food for a living. Now get out of here.
So, yeah, that one. Yeah, I also found out in the trivia that the director wrote those characters because he grew up near some heavily Republican people that were like that would yell at kids for asking for Halloween candy and stuff.
My therapist says it's good to deal with my trauma in my art.
Yeah.
What was that? There was that line towards the end of it where she's talking. Oh yeah, she's trying to like tell him how to like why he's trying to go after Sean. And she's like, oh, he has to kill him before it kills him, and he's like, shut the hell up or something.
Yeah, like,
That's the other
like,
thing. I was like,
she keeps on saying all that crazy shit, and he's like, I'm so sick of this bitch right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And she's basically like, I'm wanting him to kill the kid so that way that fucking thing leaves. And
yeah.
fucking, I just love it because she had the best kill in the movie, regardless of the toaster kill. Hers was the best because it was just, scythe in the gut, and then he fucking starts lifting her up with the shit and then slams her down like he was in the fucking WWE or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh shit, he's got her up on the scythe. Like,
oh, here comes Jacko. Oh, with the scythe slam. Holy God.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The kills in this movie were it's so far like covering the spectrum because you had a homegirl who cowered in fear for like far too long, like long enough that like, Quentin Tarantino has his like too long feet shots. I feel like the director got that woman to cower in front of a camera for just a little too long, and he had to use enough of it in the film to justify what he kept for himself.
Yeah, just imagine his reel of that movie. It's just her fucking screaming at everything.
Dude, it's like 30 seconds or something of her in front of the Jacko standing there with the scythe, her be like, oh my God, and then and it does the fantastic,
just very
quick
slit.
play or putty.
Yeah, the little putty.
Yeah, dude.
Then like there's like a small spill of juice, which I did love the Sean fake out kill when Jacko got him at the door because they were like, oh God, the door is jammed. Oh,
Yeah.
we needed to create tension somehow. It's like, whose fucking door gets jammed like that all of the time? And then you see the blood spray all over the window and stuff, and they're like, oh God, Sean, and then they bust out. There's not a single drop of anything anywhere on that fucking stoop because they filmed the fucking blood scene after they filmed them reacting to the shit because it was dry and clean in that fucking place. No fake blood whatsoever. They're like, oh look, his juice broke, and it's like, where's the fucking juice?
Yeah.
Dude, I was trying to figure that out too. Like it was funny to watch the hand hit, and then like shortly after like the rest of it, like the blood hits the window, and then there's nothing there. It's like what just happened? What?
It's so funny.
Just some top-notch editing.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing about the spook house I did like is when the dad comes in and he does the double clap to turn on the witch thing, and then when those two nameless like trick-or-treaters come in, they look up and they do the double clap thing and turn the fucking witch back on. I was like, that's at least a recurring gag. They tried.
Yeah.
Like that's effort.
Nobody's gonna let their kid go into a creepy ass garage. Let's be real.
Oh,
this was the 90s.
In the
dude.
90s, yeah. In the
It was
90s,
the 90s.
definitely. Oh, dude.
The 90s is when people were starting to figure out that people were just like,
No, in my neighborhood, we used to say like there was one year we did it, and one of my neighbors set up like a haunted house thing in their garage, and you go through it.
Oh yeah, dude.
I would jump out and scare the
neighborhood
fuck
I
out of
grew up
people.
in,
It's
there was
awesome.
always at least one person that had like some kind of like haunted house like in
Yeah.
the garage, but they usually had like
Yeah.
the door all the way open and then had like
Yes.
drapes in certain
No,
spots.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah,
like
it
a
didn't.
maze.
Yeah, it looked legit. Like it wasn't. Yeah. So that's shit. I remember even doing that in elementary school. We would just turn some classrooms into some things.
It
was fun.
I like looking over my notes for this movie because a lot of them were just like ridiculous. Dumbass road worker gets iced for not believing a woman. That was a great kill because he's like, he gets down from his cherry picker and he's like, hey lady, what's up? And she's like, get in the fucking truck, let's go.
Oh,
let's go."
yeah.
He's like, what the hell are you talking about? There's nothing even there. And then like Jacko's right behind him and fucking slices him and she's like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck. I was like, yeah, dude, see, like if he would have just believed that girl instead of being like, oh, silly teenage girl, fucking stupid, and yeah, he just got iced for it.
Are you saying that Jacko is a feminist icon?
No, because he's Mr. Jack, so I can't. I don't think technically he could be like a full blown feminist icon for being a man in general.
Yeah, fair.
I think it sounds logical when I say it out loud like that.
You know what, dude? You sounded convincing enough that I'm just like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Like when you think of
checks out.
feminism, you want it to be led by a woman, because realistically, if a man is leading like a feminist icon movement kind of thing, it turns into not a feminist icon movement thing just inherently, because he's not the one that's
And he does kill
supposed
like
to be empowered.
3 women.
Yeah,
Isn't
but
that right?
he spares Linnea Quigley.
Yeah, they couldn't afford a death scene.
He also doesn't
Fuck you.
ever try to kill the parents, which I was kind of disappointed. I expected Dad to die.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
thought it was the whole Kelly clan and anyone who ever associated with him. Like
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of the thing.
Yeah,
But,
but like they were like, now the youngest will suffice.
Well,
If he buries the youngest, that'll be fine.
so you know,
look, I'm on a budget. I don't have a whole lot of time up here. I'll just bury the kid. That'll be my eternal vengeance. You guys are young. I don't know how dried up she is from all the cocaine. You can try for another one.
ultimately, I do think that is the story.
And who knows how other much Kelly seed is out there, because clearly the dad is cheating on mom. Like I said, whole cut subplots that I could spot.
Wait,
I
you
can
think
see
he
that,
was
actually.
banging the babysitter.
I think he was banging multiple people.
Yeah.
That's why he was so aloof
see
at
that.
home. Mom was yacked out. He was like, oh yeah, we're building a thing in the garage because I love trick-or-treating so much, and gonna, she walks up and he's just hand screwing the block of wood to the banner. And it's like, you don't have a drill, buddy? or like any other way, you're just gonna force that screw into that block of wood and that shit. Okay, bud. You don't want to do that like while it's on the ground, maybe get a little resistance. I don't know.
Hey,
Dad is aloof, mom's a yak. That kid is just everyone in town is after him. That was the real horror
That
of this
kid
movie.
was fucking. Oh man, that kid was annoying to look at.
So, scale 1 to 10. What do you guys rate this one?
I'm gonna give it a solid 1
well, like,
because the monster was cool enough. Honestly, Monster and Linnea Quigley might just make it a 1.5. But that's mainly because like it's like kind of almost got like that, like, ooh, we could have been something, but they just did not try like at all with this shit. They had an idea, they just did not have the budget to execute it. Which apparently they had a fucking huge budget on this motherfucker.
I was gonna say that's kind of the thing, is like I feel like a little more money, like a little more time with it, like it probably, it had some parts that could have gone somewhere, really actually been, so they kind of saved it. But yeah, I don't know, like the fact that watching through it, I had to do it in like chunks.
Yeah,
Because
so did I, and it's only 90 minutes long.
Yeah. And the first 20-25 minutes of it felt like an hour.
Yeah.
I was like, oh God. Like it's gonna be one of those ones, huh? Like so I don't know. I like, well, what's the scale? So like
1 to 10. 1 to 10. I give it a 1 just because I like the monster. I thought the monster looked cool.
I stand corrected. The budget on this thing was not very high at all, but it is not giving me an accurate number anywhere. They also repurposed some scenes from the underground cult hit Demon Cop, and that's where Dr. Cadaver is from. Cameron Mitchell, one of the fucking people that Red Letter Media makes fun of the most in their Best of the Worst features, because he's in so many of their terrible movies.
Oh.
I'm giving this movie, I'm gonna shit on you haters, a 3, because the soundtrack was almost always on point.
Bro, what the fuck? Okay, soundtrack, because sound design was not.
Yeah, no, sound design was garbage.
Doc, spooky noises, fucking random sound effect explosions that all sound the same. Fucking
the motorcycle, dude. The motorcycle was the best. The motorcycle
was literally the exact same noise every time. The 80-yard line when they're all walking into the sunset together, the babysitter, the mom, the dad, and the kid. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go get breakfast. You know, it's on me. Ha ha ha. We're all still alive. Yep, we're gonna go really capitalize on the day." And fucking, it was like completely different volumes the entire time, and like some of them were like while you were talking and shit. It was so funny. It just did not know how to fucking do certain things.
I'm talking soundtrack. The music, the original score to this movie somehow added a little bit of charm to what otherwise was just a steamy pile right on top of some film strip, dude. It was so bad. I went into this, expecting bad, like cheesy bad, not like fucking Lifetime original bad, dude. It was like another level.
Oh, dude, this was like fucking Swamp Ape bad.
But yeah, this is like this movie is what happens when you gave the people from Swamp Ape a budget.
Yeah. Like they'll have an idea, but it will not be very well executed.
And with that, I would like to humbly invite Jacko into the Swamp Ape verse.
I haven't seen Swamp Ape.
That shared universe.
It's on YouTube. It was made by like some random YouTuber. We saw it on Amazon Prime when it was on for a little bit, and like it's terrible. The only thing that I can tell you that is a good spoiler is that you see this Swamp Ape's dong.
Like a bunch.
Yeah, it's like walking around with it for like the fucking last third of the movie.
Yeah.
All right. Some Bigfoot dick. I like it.
Yeah. And it's like not like a humanoid dick. It's like a dog dick thing that they made.
Oh, so it's not even just. Oh, okay.
No, it's dude. No, just honestly.
It's only like
if you have like 56 minutes, watch Swamp Ape.
I'll just skip to the end to see his dick, right?
No, because you really need the payoff of all of the acting and the paint by numbers characters, the fucking casual racism just left and right.
Oh my god.
And my personal favorite, the character who, as far as I can tell, his entire plot was shot independently of the rest of the movie.
Oh yeah, totally. He was like not with any of the other actors.
He's in one scene himself with them, and it's like they shot that scene with him, and then they went and did the movie, and they were like, "Oh, it's only 47 minutes. No one else wants to come back to do any more work, so just call your buddy, and we'll go knock him out of a boat and throw what I'm pretty sure was a bunch of inflatable crocodiles at him."
Oh yeah, there were
the boat scene.
I forgot about that part. Oh shit.
Oh yeah, Swamp Ape. Highly recommend it.
It's funny.
But yeah, man, I will stick with my rating of a 3 out of 10 based on the fact that there was some fun, that I liked the soundtrack, and it was dumb enough that I was able to like pay attention and absorb nothing. Like the little bits of this movie that will stick with me are going to be jokes that only the three of you will ever get.
Yeah.
Because the longer you go on explaining, it's a horror movie from 1995. Well, it was when we were doing this podcast of the multiverse,
right?
But it was actually the losers bracket, because when Mike was doing like, it's just too deeply involved and lost in the bog. So
very much an inside joke. Yeah, very much.
It's for you when you're listening to this. You make Jacko jokes around us. You see us in person, and fucking you're in.
Yeah. If anybody that's seeing this right now ever sees me in public and just walks up to make a Jacko joke, I will buy you a drink.
Yeah,
All right.
if you look at me and go,
Mr.
I gotta look
Jack.
up that quote. Yeah, Mr. Jack. Well, if you ever come up to me, look me square in the eyes, and just say, "I don't need you to remind me. I watched two sisters die at his hand." I would be like, "Yes, yes."
Oh my God, get this guy a t-shirt. Like,
Oh my God. Aaron, do you have a rating for it?
I don't know, like, because here's the thing, like, even though it was bad, like, it still wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Would you ever watch it again?
No.
Okay.
That's true. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen in my life,
Definitely not.
but
It's up there.
it is not something that I need to watch until like I completely forget about this movie and go, "Oh yeah, I remember that time that fucking Mike, Burton, Aaron, and I had to watch this fucking movie. Oh man."
Yeah.
And it'll be like one of those movies where I'm like, I gotta get that blast from the past out of the way. Fucking gonna go down those memory lanes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'd say like 2.5.
Okay.
2.5.
yeah, you can chill
Just
up here
because,
with
like,
that.
yeah, like it, like it
It's
was
1
bad.
stars.
Like I say, it wasn't bad, but it,
Yeah,
it just it had moments
No.
of it. Where I just straight up like just started laughing at it because there was just
Mhm.
points of it that just like it's like for me the thing that gets me going the most is like the like really bad jump cuts and like audio stuff not syncing up. It just for some reason it
Who's
just
this? Why are they talking? Where have they been?
yeah, like the first part where he's looking out the window and it's like a couple different things where like it like zooms in and out and then like you see like the like what looks like I don't know some kind of shot of some dude like walking towards the window with a box kind of. It looks like, and then it just disappears and then it sees the face again and then he like jumps up and just looks at the camera again. Just it's like goofy shit like that. Just I don't know, like just I don't know. I found it entertaining at least, but yeah, it's not something that I'll like watch every year or
No.
every
No, it doesn't
Ever
go on
or
that.
ever again.
yeah.
No, this goes on like someday I want, like, if I meet someone like completely new in my life that like, you know, like going on like a first date, the second or third, when it's like, let's go back to my place and watch a movie. I'm gonna throw this on, but I'm gonna have to watch it like 5 or 6 times beforehand so I don't laugh. And then I'm gonna sit with this person with me. I'm gonna watch that shit super intently while I'm seeing how they react. Because if you could sit through that movie to be like, yes, I guess we share an interest, then you fucking are lying to me.
It's-
And I need to waste my time. I need somebody who's gonna look at me and go, "Are you fucking serious? What are we watching right now?" I'll be like, "It's Jacko. It's fucking Jacko."
Why the-
I scream.
Why the fuck do you look so into this? This is terrible.
Yeah.
You know, because the dad calls the kid Sean Kelly like randomly because he has to say his last name to remind you of what's going on.
Oh, because that's him putting his foot down as the parental figure, you know? You gotta say the kid's full name, but the kid doesn't have a middle name for some reason, but that's just...
Yeah,
That's
we all know
other
when our
story.
parents are yelling at us, it's the first.
No, it
middle,
wasn't-
and
he
last
never-
name. Like,
He never did. That wasn't how he used it though. There was one point when he was going to he turned out the TV and was telling him it's time to go to bed. He's like, "Can I watch Dr. Cadaver before I go to bed or go trick or treating?" He's like, "Oh, Sean Kelly, bye with the
Oh,
babysitters
no.
get here." And I was like,
Oh,
"What?"
people don't
No.
talk like that.
that was a great one. Fucking... I can't remember if it was Vivian or the mom went up to Sean, like, put her arm around him and she went, like he was like saying something about like having the bad dream, and she just goes, "All dreams try to tell us things, even bad ones. Right now your father tells me your favorite television show is on. Would you like to go watch?" And it's like, who the fuck talks to their son like that? What do you do?
That
Your
that
father
wasn't
tells me that your favorite program is on. Would you like to go watch?
that was the witch lady.
Was it the witch lady?
Yeah, that was when she was in his room after he like passed out.
Pass out.
after
Yep,
school.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that's the way that she
Aldridge trying to tell something like, "Lady, who?"
Aldridge
My
trying to
note
tell
with
us
her
something,
before she
even
gets
bad ones.
introduced, her storyline so far before I stopped noting was Robbie's a dick and Sean's a punk. Why is this chick hanging out with him? Witches wear cardigans, I guess. Oh, the kid's about to get molested again. Just walking this kid, I don't know, through lawns. Oh, excuse me, ma'am. I got to see this wood of this sheet I drew on with my wife's lipstick. Mom did a fat line. Why is the witch in the room? Did he like collapse? Who the fuck is she? And then no apparent scene structure. That's why I just like I can't tell what's going on.
That Vivian turned out to be like somebody that was like trying to basically feed the Kellys to this thing, because she was like, maybe it's gonna happen on Halloween again. I don't know. Like, there's no way in hell she would have known that Jacko could have been coming back that night.
I argue she would have just stayed the fuck back. I bet
when it happened,
it would have been fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kid would have got iced.
He would have gotten out of that like cemetery bog. Okay, speaking of the cemetery, where the fuck was that cemetery? Because like it was like literally like there's a couple of rocks on the ground that are just the styrofoam headstones, and then when that one bitch started running away, she just falls into like this big ass like pond thing, like, and she's just like completely soaked for a second. It's like, where did that come from? Like, did these guys walk through a swamp to get here?
I don't think there's any real like establishing shots ever in this movie, like to show the environment you're in. And I hesitate to say that's like, oh, that allows you to like shoot wherever you want and kind of create a sense of disorder to make the viewer feel panic because they can't ever figure out where they are in relation to anything because everything keeps changing like that. But there's no fucking way that's what they were going for in this movie.
Absolutely.
And no,
you just gave them so much more credit.
No, like I'm saying, it's like the thing I said, I think a few weeks ago, Alex, about George Lucas and the cyclical storytelling.
It's like poetry, it rhymes.
Yeah. There's the thing, and I'll just tell you guys, I'll say it again on this so I can reiterate on another form of media. It's like this old style of writing, I think it was like ancient Greek or something, where stories happened through generations of people, and the same kind of tests and things happen to those people. And so you get the big galaxy war fucking C-SPAN that he didn't know what he was doing, and for the prequels, and then you get the Death Star, the rebellion, blah, blah, blah. And then the next generation has to deal with the, fucking Star Killer base, the rebellion, all that shit, because it's like a cyclical storytelling thing. It's like, but the thing is, that's not what fucking George Lucas was going for. That's not how he wrote it. He didn't even write the last three. It's not like he accidentally did enough coke to stumble upon an old Greek writing tradition and wrote a space opera about it. That's
no
one way you can look at it.
If anything, he remembered his writing classes in college, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's right, cyclical storytelling." Wow.
I mean, it's just the hero's journey. It's literally just, at least the New Hope. A New Hope is
the similar trials and tribulations that they also went through and stuff, like again, both Anakin and Luke escaping the sand planet, and same with Rey.
Same with Rey, and that's what gives it the cyclical storytelling. Is it's happening through generations, not necessarily to just the bloodline. While at the same time, I won't bog it down with my explanation on the Skywalker storyline and why it's actually fantastic through all 9 films. I will fucking fight you across this goddamn screen if you make that face. I will find a way to jump through the ether.
Hey man, I like The Last Jedi. I got nowhere to fucking really put my Star Wars opinion, okay?
Because it's a good movie.
Which one was that?
It's a good Star Wars movie.
Which one? Honestly, if it was any sort of sci-fi movie that wasn't linked to Star Wars, people would not have a bigger problem with it than it actually did.
Wait, 8? The one where the whole story is they can't run out of gas?
Yeah.
Come on.
If that was a different
whole story?
That's most of the story.
The whole story is that they've been run ragged, and this is their last stand on a planet that is literally made of salt and can't sustain life. They are backed into a corner by the fascist empire that was supposed to have been defeated by Luke Skywalker, who abandoned his post.
Oh, that was so worth it.
Like I said, this is about Jacko, and I don't want to bog it down.
When you talk about Star Wars, it's easy to get bogged down, though.
I will. For those of you listening on our Spotify channel, you can't see, but I went red enough that the camera tried to color correct me for a second. Yeah, I was like, oh my god! Like my watch, if I was wearing it, would be like, he's talking about Star Wars again. No, but like to tie what I'm saying. All these are great because those aren't the real, like, they didn't have that plan. George Lucas didn't have that plan when he first got them in a room. One of my favorite lines is Harrison Ford saying to George Lucas, like, you're going to write this shit, George, but you can't expect me to say it. Like, it's nonsense. Space wizards and fucking light swords, you know? But to tie it back to Jacko, yeah, they didn't have that actually. They didn't sit down like, oh, we can create this dissonance in our viewers. They just made a bad movie and it was edited really poorly. Yes. So it's like, yeah, I guess there's a pond in this field next to an old graveyard that's lying undisturbed, even though they talked about, oh, I guess they moved the bodies when they developed this area to build the houses. And it's like, you almost got there. You almost explained something plot-wise, and then you fucking abandoned it 10 seconds later for a cool shot where the dude which, by the way, both dudes, red flannels, white shirts, blue jeans. One dude just had a coat. Like, they both showed up to set wearing the same thing, and someone, fuck. Now you two look like your boyfriends. Somebody give him your jacket.
Right, yeah.
This doesn't fit me. It's grunge. Put it on.
Right.
I also really love that one scene where
that's funny.
The daughter of Linnea Quigley is like with her little like shitty boyfriend, and like they're getting hot and heavy. And she goes, "Oh yeah, check this out." She pulls her tits out, and they just like show the tits for like 10 seconds, and then she goes, "Wait a second, I heard something." She's like, "I think something's out there." And he's like, "What are you talking about? Like, let's just get back to it and stuff." And she just slaps him full force, and he just goes,
"Oh yeah,
all right, fine, get a ride home," and fucking drives off. It's like, bro, what?
Yeah,
I was like, both of you overreacted there. Like, both, like, why did you, like, you really did not build it up enough to get to the point of a slap. And then for him just to dip after that, it's like, what the fuck?
And I would argue, take that scene, put it at the beginning, and start writing the movie from there where she dies and that guy's a suspect. There's your Jacko plot.
That's too much plot for them to handle.
Yeah. True.
Now we're gonna try to write it to make it better.
Like, oh, dude, if I wanted to write it to make it better, we could do literally so much.
Oh,
you get me a team of voice actors and an editing program, and I'll release the Weber cut. Jacko completely redubbed.
You'd have to take into consideration what scenes you actually have at your disposal, so that way you could actually splice all of the stalking scenes before like actual attacks, so that it makes sense.
Oh yeah, I'd cut that message jump cuts back into, like, if I could get a hold of the source files, I feel like you could just run the whole undo file and undo all the cuts and moving things, and it would be like, there's this scene of the teenagers waking up Jacko. Here's this scene of the Republicans being Republicans because this guy the director hates his parents. And here's like the next guy with the weird family, like doing here's eyeballs and stuff. Yeah. There were scenes and like locations and shots. They just didn't know how to edit it. And they just chopped up 15 to 20 second shots and just layered them in to be like, this is kind of a progression, right?
So you're convinced that somewhere out there is a room, some storage room somewhere in Hollywood that has cut pieces of this movie.
I'll tell you where it is.
Where is it?
It's in Kevin Feige's desk.
Why?
Kevin Feige, fan of the show, please.
Please release it, Kevin Feige. It's in, he heard us talking about it before, and he was like,
fuck, you're
I
right,
need to purchase Jacko.
Yeah, he purchased the rights to Jacko so that way Jacko can be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That's actually probably, yeah.
He wants us to stop talking about him in the multiverse.
I mean, I'm just saying.
That's why we're getting onto him.
We did the Multiverse Murder Fest, and all of a sudden, Doctor Strange is called Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, Coincidence, Multiverse
really?
of Madness. You're gonna see him open like a door, and there's gonna be a portal, and then there's gonna be a fucking jack-o'-lantern swiping a scythe. And he's gonna slam the door and go, that was a close one, and then just walk away, and then that's how Jacko's going to be in the
What?
MCU.
What
That's
was
fucking
this
beautiful.
movie? I'm curious.
It's going to be hilarious.
Talk.
It's does anybody know what the official rating for this movie was? It's not on the Wikipedia page.
No, I think so. Since it went to TV, I think there's the TV version because we know the one that's on YouTube is like an hour and 16 minutes or something.
Wait,
And I
what?
mean,
Maybe
after
even
what?
less than that.
Yeah, it's less than it. Yeah, there's
Because they had to cut out the boobies too, so
Yeah.
it's like less than
Oh yeah,
10
dude,
minutes.
watching it now, I'm like, oh, I could definitely see what they cut out. There's probably, I wonder what whole subplot got cut out. I kind of think it'd be the Republicans, but then you lose half the plot with the weird kids that he was hanging out with.
Yeah, well, he wasn't even hanging out with those kids. Those kids were like just completely by themselves. Like it was literally just that dude and his sister, and like that was it. And like the kid in the robber outfit was like the one that wanted to be the smartass the entire time. Like he was even like, check it out, bro. I fucking brought the fucking toilet paper to get up at those fucking stingy people not giving us candy. And somehow the people heard the toilet paper rolls being thrown over their house. Like I don't think
It's-
that
yeah,
would be
like-
a platter or anything.
Like, how
Toilet
big
paper
of
roll.
a like stick in the mud do you gotta be? That like, I know that sound. It's fucking toilet paper
Right.
hitting the
Right,
roof.
yeah.
How often does it have to happen for you to be like,
Right.
I think that's
Damn, that's a good point. Actually, maybe he's just got like a sixth sense for it now because he has it happen so often.
It's not the whatever it's called, MRP or whatever. The official rating isn't even on the IMDb page. I can't find it.
Oh, it doesn't actually have like a rating.
All right, well, I mean,
yeah,
I'm sure
no,
it
it's up the
does.
top. It's up the top. It's R.
Oh, you're right. There it is. Sorry. Yep, it is hour
I'm
and
trying to
28
find-
minutes.
Yeah, I think you put it perfectly, dude.
I can't
Like,
tell if
when-
it's got a
when you
3.3
guys-
average.
When you I almost made literally because I was like I was in between. I had started it one night, and then the next day we were talking, and someone, I think Mike, you said I gotta sit down for 2.5 hours and watch Dune. I was like, well, Jacko was 2.5 hours long, and then I double checked. I was like, oh my god, it's only an hour and a half. Like I seriously thought it was 2.5 hours. Like it blew my mind. I was gonna make that joke, but I was like, fuck, I can't. Like, but I mean. Okay, we've officially been talking about Jacko for an hour, so
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's about all Jacko deserves, even though like
probably
I was gonna
more.
say, you guys want to go over some of these fucking 10-star reviews on IMDb that they got?
no.
Of what,
7%
Jacko?
Of Jacko,
I
yeah.
don't-
Some people have
Yes,
rated
I
it
do.
10 out of 10 stars.
I want to know their opinion.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so let's see.
Holy
User
shit!
Reviews,
Someone gave
Let's
it
get
a
it.
10 out of 10.
rating reviews.
Few
Okay.
people.
So, rent this one for a good time. 10 out of 10 stars. Story involves ancient demon being released upon a small town on Halloween night. In all my life, I have never seen such a cheesy film. But it is so damn entertaining, you can forgive its bad acting, effects, direction, and script. What? This is the best movie created for the Halloween season since the original Halloween. And when they introduce Linnea Quigley's character for the first time, she is butt naked in the shower for 5 minutes. Goodness, they just don't get any better than this. Rush and buy this tape right away. And then at the end it says 5 out of 10. They rated it 10 out of 10 just to put a 5 out of 10 at the end.
That
The
Don't-
best Halloween movie since the
Since
original Halloween.
John Carpenter's Halloween. This is the best movie since The Shining. What the fuck are you talking about?
That is so fucking funny. And then an
Wow.
8-star review is right after it that says a deliciously cheesy serving of low-budget horror trash.
8 stars
8
on the
stars.
Internet Movie Database because it's like, it's fucking shit.
Keep in mind,
It's terrible.
on IMDb, it only has 3.3 stars out of like 1,500 reviews. So
Yeah.
it's definitely more negatives than positives. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, dude. It's 32%
But you know what?
1-star reviews.
I also don't give a fuck about reviews either because like growing up, every movie as a kid that I liked, all the reviewers hated. Now I know you're reading user reviews. That's different, but
Yeah.
I never go based off reviews anyway.
So
I
the,
love looking at reviews. Some people are fucking so cynical.
the two that I found, the one is a 2-star that says, "I'm just here to get drunk and fuck around." And the second one, which albeit very accurate, says, "If you have ever wondered what if Spirit Halloween Store was to produce a movie, this is for you."
Yes.
This
I
one,
mean-
just by the title alone, is like
Yeah.
exactly
Yes.
what we're saying already. Not quite the worst movie I ever saw, but close. If you are in search for a masochistic thrill, rent this movie and show it to a group of your friends sober. This movie is just plain lame, but it's not completely without value. The brief tits are nice. There is one victim's death that is funny as hell. Other than that, it is straight garbage, but is still better than Grimm or Spookies, which I will give it to them. Spookies is a terrible movie.
I've never seen either of those.
I don't think I've ever seen Grimm, but Spookies sucks.
Wow.
See, now I wanted to find one middle of the road.
All right, just give me 40 seconds. You guys can keep going. Give me 40 seconds. I'll be right back.
This guy was ready off the bat with warning, spoilers.
I love that. Spoilers for Jacko that came out in 1995. And
Yeah.
There's something to be
ever
said.
since.
All right, so it's 5 out of 10 stars. As middle of the road as it gets. Absolutely hilarious. I loved it. Shouting to indicate all caps. There's something to be said for good movies. There's also something to be said for bad movies. But what about a bad movie that's sincere, very likable, very nostalgic in capturing the fall/Halloween season and full of energy and audience goodwill? What? Well, that is exactly what is found in Jacko, a movie with so many painfully bad, laughable elements that somehow mixed with the fun elements and turned it into a very entertaining B-level horror movie. Random exclamation points. The good stuff here is the breezy tone of the film, and the story itself is enjoyable and fun. I like some of the small touches, like the Halloween garage spook show and the weird conservative neighbors who are killed. Also, it's good to see Lena Quigley in a role that is probably too small, but it's still Lena. Or Linnea? Is it?
Linnea.
Linnea. It's still good to see Linnea. She brings an element of fun to the film. A wink, wink. Even if her role was almost useless. The cameos from John Carradine and Cameron Mitchell are from some unknown archive source, but I still like seeing both of them here.
Well, Cameron Mitchell from Demon Cop, apparently. I found that out, which is hilarious because Demon Cop is a terrible movie also, but Cameron Mitchell has never been in a good movie throughout his entire life, so, like, that's not surprising.
They continue the bad stuff. The plastic jack-o'-lantern pumpkin mask is really lame, and the acting is the cheesiest. Then again, that only adds to the fun. The little kid, son of the director, might be the worst child actor I've ever seen, but it's hilarious to watch. The adults aren't much better. There's one woman in a flashback scene who you must see in all her monotone glory to believe. That's our girl.
Yup.
The woman who plays the psychic is also quite awful. You'll be rolling on the floor in laughter.
Wait,
There's
was
a
she
bit
a
of gore in
psychic?
one topless scene from Rachel Carter, who plays the Quigley character's sister in the film. The gratuitous shower scene I see some people talking about must have been cut from my tape, because you only see Linnea from the shoulders up. There's no other to rate the film like this than with a 5.
Damn, they only saw Linnea from the shoulders up in that shower scene.
From the tape they had. They
They bought
They
this
taped
piece
it.
of shit.
Yeah, they taped it from the TV version, if anything.
I got one better to kind of piggyback off of that one. Somebody gave it 5 stars on Amazon and just said nice boobs on the babysitters.
That is basically what the babysitters were there for. 'Cause
Those-
both of them did show their boobs in the movie.
Those tits are worth
Absolutely.
5 stars right there.
I'd buy that for $1.
My God.
So-
My God.
there it is. That's a collective
Can
average of 2.
we like, where do we
Strong
go
too.
from here? Like,
Right? Yeah. Like, what do you do after you watch one of the worst movies that you could possibly watch for Halloween?
I almost feel like we got to pick another one and do this again. But do we try to palate cleanse or like?
Or do we do another really bad movie?
I don't know, dude. I just ate an entire fucking shit hoagie before I started this, like we started recording, dude. I don't know. I need something like not high budget, but I'm like,
I mean, I don't know. I assume that, like, I don't know. I've really been diving deep into all things horror this month, hardcore, harder than I've been in a long time.
We did Scream, but I do have
Scream 2. I think we should, because as we said on the last episode of Bog Talk, we are officially co-opting the entire holiday season, all spooky.
Yeah,
I like it.
Even during Christmas and stuff.
Dude,
Like, we'll still do
Thanksgiving.
Hawkeye and stuff, but like,
oh yeah, we're still gonna do that stuff. But
I think we should do Hawkeye like 2 episodes at a time, because the first batch is coming out in 2 episodes. So I'm thinking like it's gonna
on
be
Thanksgiving,
like,
right?
Boom, boom. Yeah, something like that. Because they're doing the first 2 episodes, and then it's gonna be like another episode, like every week until I think I want to say there's only like 6 or 7 episodes of it.
Let me throw this one out there, just because it's literally the only horror movie that I will be going to see in theaters this year. But I watched the Halloween Kills, but I watched it on HBO, and kind of glad I did. What if we did
Kills and how bad it is?
Well, see, that's the thing, is what if we like a new movie, like what if we did Antlers? Do anybody know about Antlers?
I know about it. I just don't know enough about it to know, like,
it's Guillermo del Toro doing basically a movie about the Wendigo, and it comes out on Friday.
Shit.
Oh, I showed you the trailer, Aaron. It looks fucking incredible. It looks absolutely horrifying, and I've been. It was supposed to come out last year, like everything else got delayed. So I've been waiting for this one.
I feel like
maybe like a slow burn where like you don't even get the monster until the end.
I hope not, but you may be
won't
right.
Be. It's Guillermo del Toro, dude.
Yeah, he doesn't like to give you.
But the thing is, because it's Guillermo del Toro, it'll be fucking sweet when it pays off.
Right.
Early, the monster may have changed by now, but like early images were released and it looks incredible. Incredible.
I think it's only right that we do that movie, because the Wendigo
was in the multiverse murder.
Yeah.
Yo!
I think it's only right.
Good call.
He was almost about to win it too. We were so close to fucking letting him win.
Siren. What was he? Siren
Wendigo.
The Mermaider.
Mermaid,
Mermaider, yeah. He was a
the Mermaider.
He was a mermaid that got turned into a Wendigo. And
oh my
then
God,
the Wendigo went and got fucking the all black and used that to kill his way into the fucking semifinals.
Yo, Kevin Feige is definitely listening to our shit, because I don't know if you saw it, but I saw a video the other day. I can't remember what it was, but the all black is about to come into the MCU.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I put Gore the God Butcher into the Multiverse Murder Fest, is knowing that was going to be the main villain of.
And what's his name?
Of wait, of
Bale,
what?
Of Love and Thunder, of the new Thor movie.
So you knew that going in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because like All Black is like Gore the God Butcher.
No, he
like fucking thing.
That's how we communicate, because see, he can't like favor us. Like, so we communicate by like, hey, we see you, Gore the God Butcher, with that. And then phase 7, Mephisto comes in riding a fucking Wendigo Mermaider hybrid.
Yes.
Like,
Wendigo Mermaider.
He's just like, I don't know, man. I found this thing in a giant fucking police box thing. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
It's going to be a Wendigo Mermaider Jacko hybrid.
Yeah, it's gonna have a pumpkin head, but it's gonna have like the fucking antlers sticking out of it, and like there's gonna be like a fish jaw to it too.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You just watch.
Wait, Christian Bale is gonna play? Really?
Yeah, Christian Bale's gonna be Gore the God Butcher.
First time he's been in the MCU, right?
Yep.
Oh man, I just thought about Christian Bale on a Taika Waititi set. That had to be interesting.
Huh? I'm looking forward. I think that movie's going to be sick.
It's great. I'm interested in it for multiple reasons, but Natalie Portman's back muscles being, I don't know, 20 of them. I lost count.
I'm excited to see fucking Chris Hemsworth in the absolute most ripped he's ever been, because they were all saying like the stunt doubles were mad because he had gotten so much bigger.
Oh, really?
This movie. Yeah, like they're like his arms are like impossibly fucking huge right now.
Damn.
That's what that Marvel huge amount of testosterone will do to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what those Marvel stem cells will do.
Oh man, look at Camille Nanjiani.
Yeah.
He doesn't look the same anymore.
Dude, it's nuts.
So are we done with Jacko?
Yeah,
I
we're
think-
done with Jacko.
Can we
I
lay?
think just
It's out of my brain now, dude. Occasionally, it's
just
just
like
gonna
in the
pop up.
movie.
Can
We're
can
gonna
the
we?
thing is,
slowly put that
I didn't
fucking
roll the
slice
credits,
right
so
over.
it's gonna be one of those things that's gonna keep popping up on my list. It's like continue watching.
Right.
I'll just have to go like, fuck you.
Right. So we can officially bury Jacko in a shallow grave. All right.
Yep, and then just leave his
I'm-
scythe right on top
Hey,
of it,
yep.
and like it'll never
Yep.
be disturbed for 80
Fine.
years.
80 years. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like
80
a
years.
time capsule. Yeah. All right. Excellent. Then we have kind of just already talked about horror movies, but there's something I've been bringing up to everybody that has been on the show the last few days. Like we always talk about horror movies, and yet we're
It's
all
always such a good subject matter.
it is a great no because we all love them. It's fun to talk about, but I really want to know, like, we're all
I think-
fucking metalheads, right? Like, obviously. So in the whole, for me, at least for my money, Black Sabbath is the first heavy metal band, and they did that whole thing. They did that first album. They created that sound with the Devil Tritone and everything, the diminished fifth, because their studio or their practice space, something like that, was like around the corner from a movie theater. And they noticed that every time there was a horror movie, there was a line wrapped around the fucking building. And they're like, well, why don't we try to make a horror movie on mute with music? And so the entire basis of heavy metal is combined with the horror genre, in my opinion. But like, I don't feel like there are specific go-to heavy metal Halloween songs. Am I wrong? Do you guys have any? Like, I think of like "Hallowed Be Thy Name" cover from Cradle of Filth. Like, that shit is
No,
perfect.
I think. I mean, there's the obvious, those
What's-
bands that covered the Nightmare Before Christmas album.
I mean, yeah.
There's those, but that's just Halloween music that I put on, and like
Right.
I prefer the original versions to begin with. I don't
Yeah.
care for Jonathan Davis's weird voices on things. So
What about the Marilyn Manson one? The Marilyn Manson one's pretty good.
Eh,
All right, fair enough.
Okay, it's not like a heavy metal song, but when I think of like Halloween music being like rock inspired and stuff, I always think of like fucking like Scooby Doo stuff, where like you get like the
like surf rock.
no, like the 90s Scooby Doo, where like you get like Return from Zombie or like Zombie Island, where fucking they had that one song in the intro where like you see the fucking montage of them just like catching random bad guys and stuff, where it's terror time again.
Oh fuck!
Like-
I think I do remember that one actually.
I got
Yeah,
nothing on that.
Oh man, it was a really good song. Honestly, if you go back and listen to it,
But, like-
it's a pretty solid hard rock song. But like, it's not like Halloween specific or anything like that. It's literally just because it's
No.
a Scooby Doo thing, and that's
I
why
I
like
think
it.
it's because like so if you say it like that, it's like it's kind of birthed out of like the horror thing. It's kind of like it always walks alongside it, but you don't often see
Well,
the two crossing paths that often. I mean, you get like we talked about when we did Scream, how a few years after Scream, horror movies became like vehicles for soundtracks, where like Freddy vs. Jason had
Yep.
a kick-ass new metal soundtrack.
oh, there's a lot more than new metal on there. Bring that
Oh,
up.
I mean, yeah, that's.
That's a good one.
Trust me, I had that CD. I played that shit out.
Lamb of God
Oh.
was on that shit. Devil
I
Driver.
had
Oh really?
Yep.
Resident Evil was another one, had some
Yep.
Slipknot on it. So
Yep. Yeah,
Slipknot
yeah.
did a music video of it. Well,
Yep.
Slipknot used footage from Disaster Pieces, and it was cut to footage from the movie. So
Yeah.
it was like somebody did a fan edit and they bought it.
It's kind of the same with that song from one of their new songs that they used in the commercial or whatever for The Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
so-
yeah.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, no, that Freddy versus that the guy I was talking to yesterday, Chance from Bound by Years. I asked him that same question. And he was like, "Dude, the Freddy vs. Jason soundtrack." And that was a really good answer because I kind of didn't know that soundtrack was so awesome. But
It's
it's sick. It's sick. But I mean, it's hard for us though. We're horror fans. We're metal fans. We get excited when Cannibal Corpse has a new album cover that's extra gruesome. It takes something extra to phase us, to freak us out in any way. We're pretty desensitized to all this stuff, but like, and that's what metal music still does to, you know, a lot of, you know, normies or whatever. Like, it freaks them out. They don't like it. It freaks them out. To us, it's just, I wake up to this shit. So it's harder. I get it. But like, I'm really trying to find music that invokes some kind of fear.
I will say, just as a soft, quick plug, the guys from Quasar Studios. I don't know what the name of their band is. I think they're still just releasing stuff like as the Quasar Studios band. But they've had a couple songs that, because their whole upcoming release is going to be horror movie themed.
Cool.
So like, yeah, look, check them out. Yeah.
What is it? Quasar
Studio. The song's called Psycho.
Studio. I'm gonna write that down. Okay.
I don't know. When I think of like music, like scary kind of, or I don't know. Like
yes.
horror.
No, not horror, but something that like evokes a feeling in you where it's like, oh, it's a little something.
It's like the only thing that is like a very specific like style of like doom metal or like black metal for me. Like it just, there are certain elements of it that like,
okay,
depending on what it's about or what it is, or like just the tone of it all can be, you know, but it's nothing that I'm like super scared of.
No, and none of it is going to do that to us in a real genuine way, because we're with this fucking breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But you know, I don't know. It's hard. I haven't figured out the right way to ask that question yet. But it's
I know what you're saying, and I think that the thing is though is that, like I said, since these two, like you just said, with, you know, Sabbath, it was kind of born of it, that by like trying to, the two coming back together is, other than that like mid 2000s era where soundtracks to horror movies were all metal becomes used in a really gimmicky way, and generally in a negative way in most horror movies. When you see like the guy rolling up listening to heavy metal, he's generally portrayed as like the scary guy, like, oh, look out for him.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, because that's something to be said about, like, that's kind of how we all dress. I mean, like, we all wear a lot of black. And
we all look like that guy.
I walk around with the fucking bloody fucking Tyrannosaurus eating a dude off a toilet, Rivers of Nile shirts, fucking sweet shirt, love it. And then people see it, and they're like, metal people see it, like, dude, fucking sweet shirt. I'm like, hell yeah, dude.
I think the only time that I've seen in like a movie where like the metalhead wasn't like somebody that was about to die instantly was in Idle Hands. They have just like the random dude in a pickup truck that listens to fucking metal. He wears fucking wife beaters and stuff. And then dude goes up to him at like a fucking drive-thru and is like, hey man, can you like tell me like how to help my hand? And he's just like, well, you know, like the thing that got me from doing bad stuff was like working on my car, you know, because the idle hands are a devil's plaything. And he's like, what? He's like, idle hands are the devil's plaything. Like, you never heard that phrase before? And like you like literally asked him because knitting. He was a metalhead, because he was like, this guy must know about like possession and demons and stuff.
But even then, that's how he's portrayed. Is it's like, oh, he's like, this guy listens to heavy metal. I bet he's into demons.
Now, I mean, I would say though, there's one movie where it's probably the best. It's probably the best heavy metal horror movie ever made. I know you guys have all seen Deathgasm.
Yeah, you remember me.
Great movie. And the metalheads are the heroes in that one. You know,
yeah, it kind of
they
reminds
have to fight
me
the
of,
demon.
You ever see the series Todd and the Book of Pure Evil?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
It kind of gave me a lot of that vibes.
Oh yeah.
Like they like went like way more full blown because it wasn't made for TV or teenagers at all. Like Deathgasm.
Oh,
like, we want to.
I was so happy when I finally found that movie, because I'd been seeing that meme for years of the guy in corpse paint eating ice cream next to the girl in the dress on the bench. And I never knew what it was from. And then I watched that movie. I was like, no way. This is awesome. I love that movie.
Another one, Knights of Badassdom.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, you're in for a fucking treat, dude. So I forget the dudes. The lead is one of those guys that's always like a B character on like a Comedy Central show.
Okay.
Kind of guy. I'm just gonna have to look out because he's been in something. Peter Dinklage is in it.
Whoa.
It was filmed during one of the breaks of filming in Game of Thrones, apparently. So because he's only in like a little bit of it, but he's like one of the best supporting characters since Tyrion. What's his name? Ryan Quanton.
Okay.
From such hits as True Blood. You talked about that earlier. Knights of Badass ones he's known for. Yeah, no, he's not, like I said, he's not well known. But in it, Brian
Posehn is in it.
Brian Posehn and him work together in a garage, and he's constantly showing Brian Posehn his band's new direction in their music. And
that's brilliant.
He like genre nerds to like an almost offensive degree where people are like, she comes in, she's like, oh, is this your death metal band? And Brian Posehn's like, actually, it's more like a post-grunge death, was it like post-grunge power death? And he's like, yeah, but I want to feel some like neo-blackened elements in there too.
Oh my God.
Like, dude, it's fucking hilarious the way they do it. They don't like, they play it for laughs. Like, you know that Brian Posehn was like, here's what to say if you want to make metalheads go,
I like that. I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Brian Posehn is one of those old head metalheads that are like, oh, that newer stuff is just all crap. It's like,
but he, I don't know. Like I know he likes like Lamb of God. So, he
is, but he's not like oh, that stuff is crap and you shouldn't listen to it. He's like, I got my shit I listen to. You listen to your shit. That's cool. Like, you know,
he knows
like Slayer people.
To anyway.
I think Jim Brewer has one of the best bits I've ever heard about Slayer people.
Jim Brewer is awesome.
yeah. They're a breed of their own, and like, so dude, funny. Like, I one of my buddies that I know, he's an old head, listens to, you know, Slayer, Megadeth. That's his metal. Like, that's the heavy. Like, he'll send me pictures. Like, he's fucking awesome. Greg, if you're listening, what's up, dude? He digs Bog Wraith. He's like, yeah, you guys are awesome, man. Like the other day, he messaged something about he messaged me about here in Lorna Shore, and he's like, how are these guys at the top? Why aren't you up there? I'm like, we're not there yet. So yeah, the old head metalheads, the real ones, man. Those are the ones that are like, yeah, I'm gonna like be over here like headbanging just as hard as you are to Black Dahlia, but to Iron Maiden. We got our thing.
I do that.
Yeah,
I do.
But like those, the described old heads, like
yeah, I get it.
The good ones, the cool ones are always like, but yeah, there are the ones that are like, these fucking retards listening to this bad shit. Oh, sorry, R word. Boop. I got into character of that person sucking. Sorry.
Right.
Only listen to the demo, bro. We're 86.
Yeah. Only listen to the original Maiden tapes before Bruce.
Yeah. No, I get what you're the elitists.
Bruce ruined Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Well, like every genre's got their old heads where it's like, oh man, that stuff is nothing compared to what we used to listen to in the 90s. It's like even rock and roll like nowadays, because there's not like many rock bands that are like,
dude,
very
we even had the one guy posted on like one of those album review sites. It was like a comment section about Omen, or no, it was about Titan. And he said he preferred the stuff from Meyer and before. And I was like, what?
Yeah, we had like purist about our production value
already
when we were like just starting out as a band. I love that.
It's hilarious. That's hilarious.
But yeah, to wrap up that point though, man. Yeah, I think it's just that like when you try to combine the two, it's a rocky ground, and you got to do it right. You know, I'd say like Rob Zombie. If I had to pick Halloween music, Hellbilly Deluxe, man.
Great album.
That's fair.
Top to bottom, actually. Top to bottom, great album.
Classic Rob Zombie is really hard to beat because his newer stuff sure is not doing it at all for me.
Yeah, he wants to make movies now.
But he makes like really dumb music. Like, do you remember that song that everybody's fucking in a UFO song? What the hell was that?
Yeah.
Kind of funny.
Dude,
yeah, but like, what the fuck, dude?
Have you know what Dragula's about?
You
What?
slam him in the back of your Dragula.
Yeah, it's not about it. It's just, I got a car and sucking by witches. Like, yeah, dude.
It's literally
it's Rob Zombie, dude. It's cheesy horror movie shit.
It's him imagining himself driving that giant monster mobile, going, yeah, dude. It's literally just he wanted to create a fucking image in his head out of music, and he did it very well. Everybody fucking in a UFO is not an image in your head. That is something that you're like, what do I even fucking write a song about anymore? Like,
no, like I said, he wants to make movies, and then when it's like, you know how he releases a stinker, and then he's like, ah, shit, I gotta go make some money. Let me go do a tour. All these women, big red women, or whatever that song is. That's educated horses. What the fuck? Whatever, man. You know what it means? You know what every new zombie album means? That we get to go see him play the hits, at least.
Yeah.
You get to stand there while the big zombie head with the top hat, the swirly eyes, and he comes out with his dreadlocks, and he sounds like shit, like live every time.
Really?
But
When I saw him, it sounds pretty good. But I don't know.
It's all right.
Dude, he always just.
But the stage set,
like
the stage show is always fucking amazing, though.
that's what I'm
definitely
there for. Every
so
time.
worth going to see live. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
It was funny because I brought something up similar to that last time because we were jamming to it, and I was like, anytime I hear that Thunder Kiss 65, I'm like, I just
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know what the rest of the words are for this song, but it's just
Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Exactly.
That's
It's more of a feeling than an actual message. So you
Yeah.
kind of have to.
But that's
practice.
also what 99.9% of the population says about Bog Wraith, Recorruptor, Lorna Shore, Lamb of
Exactly.
God. Like,
and that's why I fucking love it, because like you don't like his lyrics. Yeah, when I say he sounds like shit live, it's just like he's not. I don't know. It sounds like he's just doing the grunting sounds, whereas in the studio it's very produced, obviously.
Mhm.
And like I said, he wants to make movies.
Yeah, dude, he's making the Monsters reboot.
What is that? What is this? Because this is not his first ever reboot, but it's the first time he's ever touched a property that I'm aware of, at least, where it was never originally intended to be gritty or scary or anything like he does normally.
I almost thought you were gonna go in the direction of not rebooted, and I was like, oh, they've definitely rebooted the Monsters before.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm telling you, dude, they're gonna.
Yeah, they did one in the 90s.
Yeah, it was crap.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the guy that played Herman was okay at the very least, but that was about it.
They're gonna fuck it up.
Well,
He's gonna fuck us all up because he's gonna come out with like a feel good. I'm not saying he's gonna fuck it up. He's gonna fuck us all up when it comes out, and it's just like a straight comedy reboot, like no gory anything, and it's just like a good Monsters
comedy.
movie.
Awesome. Have you ever seen El Super Beasto?
Oh yeah, dude,
Yeah.
he's fucking
It's
hilarious.
I love the comic too. I got that on like a used sale, so like I got it for like $10, and it's so damn funny because like he loves to put like little horror stuff in there, but like it's all just out of comedy. Like even in El Super Beasto, he's like driving away at one point. He runs over Michael Myers from the fucking remakes, and like Michael Myers tries to stab at him, and he uses the fucking windshield wipers to knock him off.
Oh yeah, dude. I think I would love to see his Monsters movie just be like a comedy, and him being just like, I've been doing horrific imagery for like 30 years.
And some of the best.
The best. He's great at it. Like
Really good. What I will say is when I saw the casting that he did, I was like, perfect. This is absolute perfect cast for these characters. Yeah, beautiful. They look amazing.
Yeah,
the
I like
house.
Monster.
Everything looks great. And everything, you know, but I just like, what the fuck? Like, I can't even imagine his vision for this. Like, I guess I was never a big monsters guy to begin with.
I do
but
kind of hope it is mainly a comedy, because like I want them to almost have like the town folk really hate the monsters, and like they like make all these like horrific stories up about them, but like none of them are actually true. So like you have like these flashback sequences of like gory stuff, but then like you see Herman like boiling like fucking water so they can like have his tea and stuff, and like he's just like sitting there at home just having a normal day and stuff, and everybody's like, he's a monster, he eats children, and it's just him just having like a really nice day, and like, just like all fucking horrified about him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think it'll be good.
I'm excited to see it. I
am
like
too.
zombies movies.
Me too. I've got one. The only one I haven't seen now is, I think, Three from Hell, the most recent.
I haven't seen 31 or 3 from Hell.
31, probably my
I've heard
least
31
favorite.
It was I'm lukewarm on it. It was just film.
It's good because it's a zombie film, but it's also just like people get kidnapped and tortured. Like, it's just Saw, basically.
Yeah, that's
like,
that was my thing. Is I
the
like
only thing.
There
Like
the slasher movie torture porn I can do, but like, you know, I've never been a huge torture porn guy. So
I don't really care. Like, I don't really care for the Saw movie. It's you know, I've seen them. I'm like, oh, all right, yeah, there's some cool kills or whatever, but like everything else, I'm like, man, it doesn't really hit with me. Hostel never really
Saw is
hit
the
with me.
funniest soap opera ever.
I fucking hated Hostel. I hate the whole series.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I just
Hostel was
didn't get it.
never that well executed in the first
Nah.
place. Like, oh, an elite people, like group of white men that fucking pay to kill people. Okay.
Yeah. it
Okay,
just
so like, where's like,
does nothing for me.
It
You know,
literally does
where-
nothing for me for some reason. Like, that's
Yeah,
a
it was-
real thing that probably happens.
yes, that's
It just
it.
literally
Yeah,
does nothing
absolutely.
Like, as a
like-
movie narrative, it does nothing for me. Like, if that's like something that they wanted to bring light to, then they could have done it in a billion different ways other than making a movie that's like reveling in the nastiness of
Yeah,
it.
if they would have been like, yeah, were you fucked up by this movie? Yeah, this happens. So like, all the proceeds are going to like fight human trafficking.
Right. Like, they could have
But-
done something.
I don't know if they really want that money though.
Right.
Bunch of money from a movie where people are like, oh god, we're trying to see my family again.
I sliced my Achilles tendon and told me to walk on it.
No, yeah.
I was gonna say, wasn't that was the same one with the one dude gets like castrated, and then towards the end of the movie, like the other guy like gets his eye pulled out or something.
You
He just,
blow
like,
torches to the
snowballed
chick's
it.
face.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I fucking hate that movie.
saw it once, and I was like, "There's 3 of these." I'm good. Like,
That's fucked.
yeah,
I thought they only made 2 because that's pretty much all that's really worth out of that series. Like fucking the Human Centipede. How the fuck you
Yeah.
make 3 movies out of that shit?
Good question.
money.
Dumb.
Money. Yeah. The first one.
Yeah,
Good enough. That's why. But all right. I mean, yeah. That's I'm out of questions. So
I think we got like a mini episode out of that whole thing.
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. Well, so then, or can we all? We'll try to. I don't know if it'll. Maybe on Friday. I don't know if it'll work beyond Friday at all this weekend, but definitely we should coordinate. Everybody see Antlers, and then we can come back and talk about it later.
I know. Friday we're full up.
Yep. Okay. No
I
worries.
can try to do it like early on Monday next week.
Yep. That's kind of if any
Yeah.
day after Halloween at this point is kind of where I'm at. So
'Cause, like, I could probably just hit like a matinee or something.
yeah.
Cheap, and sometimes the people are not even paying attention at the movie theaters nowadays because of COVID.
Right. Right. So we'll come back. We'll come back soon for that. But this has been great, man. This has been a fun
This
one.
was really fun. As much as I hated watching this fucking movie the entire time, I was just thinking, I'm so glad we get to tear into this fucking
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Kind of the podcast made it worth it. I was like, all right, at least we're gonna get content out of this. Like, holy shit.
Oh yeah, I honestly expected us to go on way longer tangents about something completely off topic for way longer, but like we didn't do that until after we got done shitting on this movie.
Yeah, it's not like there was nothing there. There was just a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, We had to sift through it to find a couple nuggets.
Yeah, we found like not even nuggets of gold. Like we found like nuggets. Of,
No, it's
tin.
less stinky shit.
Maybe like slight aluminum, but like we found nuggets of like something that.
Oh, here's
was,
a rock. That's about as interesting as it gets. It's rock instead of shit.
Yeah.
You know,
there's one of those like coin batteries that looks like a quarter.
Jacko 2 starring The Rock.
There we go.
Oh my god, and he's jacked. Oh.
Oh, there you go.
Where The Rock faces against himself, so he gets extra screen time and double the paycheck. Hollywood, get at me. I got the ideas. Dwayne Johnson needs 2 paychecks next time. Let's do it.
Oh yeah.
You can have that one if you want. It's free.
All right.
No, I want a finder's fee on The Rock. So like, what is like 5% of like the most anybody gets paid in movies ever?
Double.
He's probably a $20 million guy.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want 5% of that.
But all right, let's wrap this one up.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, Mike, Aaron, Alex. Thank you so much for this episode of Lost in the Bog.
Absolutely.
Thanks for fucking coming along on this terrible journey.
Yeah, I apologize, man. I will screen movies before I let something like this happen again.
No, don't. That's the best part. Honestly, just not knowing what we were getting into besides seeing the trailer. Mwah.
Yeah.
So good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All
I have
right.
to go watch the internet reviews of this and see what everyone
Yes.
will think of it too.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for taking this ride with us, and we're back again as always.
Right. Good night.
What the fuck did I tell you? I mean, like, so much fun. Every time I get to talk to them, it's tremendous fun. And yeah, it's I mean, for me, this is what podcasting is about. So it's always just talking to my friends, you know, and it's always an epic time getting to talk to those two. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. And if you're still hearing this right now, that means you made it all the way to the end of the episode. And I cannot, from the bottom of my heart, I can never thank you enough for that. So thank you to anybody listening. And that's going to do it for this episode of Lost in the Dark podcast. And as always, y'all know what the fuck to do at this point. Raise your fucking horns and bang your goddamn heads. Blast some fucking bog wraith. And definitely check out all things Bog Talk Podcast. I love you all to death. Good night. Bah.